Good. From? Work.
Oh, just now, out and about, walking.
Nice. Nice evening, right?
Yeah, beautiful evening.
Mm,
Started out a little warm. It's getting real nice now with the temperature.
yeah, I agree. Did you get your questions answered today?
Yeah, pretty much. Hopefully, we'll discuss them a little bit more. I think it's a good topic, right?
Yeah.
Good starting point. Good discussion item.
Yeah. What in particular is on your mind? How can I help? What do you?
What's on my mind?
Yeah. What are you thinking about? What?
You know, I'm thinking it's just doing it. You know what I mean? I think I'm having a hard time just bringing myself to having the conversations with people. I've always had a hard time with that.
Yeah. Well, no better time. Nothing better to see what it's like when you do it than to start doing it.
Yeah, well, I mean, although I did go out and I did have the conversations today. We started them. It's good.
I'm sure they're all going to beat you up now that now that you can open your mouth up and say, "Hey, Pat, we liked you better when you didn't say what's on your mind. This way, we didn't know where we stood."
Well,
I doubt it.
actually, that really wasn't the case. I've always been saying what was on my mind. I guess it's just a fear of being politically correct, or not taking it to a different level with people. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Hey, Pat, once upon a time, I used to work
Hey,
for
John.
Tom Paul. I used to work for Tom Paul. And Tom was like Bojangles. He drinks a bit,
Oh,
And so Tom went to get some hydraulic oil and told me to do some stuff there on the backhoe. And apparently the hydraulic oil in the that 24 can case of Budweiser was right there side by side, and he had to get both of them because they were a special apparently. And it took him a while to return. And when we got back, I was sitting up there on that backhoe tractor just looking just as pretty as I could, with my feet up and everything else, waiting on that motherfucker to come back. And he poured himself out of that truck, and he come over and he said, "The fuck are you doing?" And I said, "I'm sitting here doing it. I got everything done you told me." He said, "Well, from now on," he said, "you be doing something even if it's wrong." And I took that to heart, because sometimes you do things and it's like, it don't make any difference why you're doing it. I mean, you're doing it for the hell of it. You're just doing it. And sometimes people don't like it, and sometimes, hell, they do. And sometimes, mostly, it doesn't make any difference one way or the other. So, just go for it, dude. As long as you be doing something, who's going to complain about it?
yeah. Well, I think I got to see what that reality's about, don't I?
Well, yeah, okay, go for it, Mr. Pat. You're gonna have yourself a good old time. I can tell you. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I can create the reality in my head, or I can go out and create it with someone else. Can I?
Actually, the one with that someone else is the only one that counts. The one in your head.
Yeah.
Measuring is really a bitch.
Yeah. Maybe testing it. Make
Yeah.
sure that it withstands interaction with the outside world is often where you'll learn something. I guarantee you'll learn something.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's them.
Yeah.
I'm not having the conversation because it'd be the change in the reality that I've already made up in my head.
Well, that sounds like fun, then. You ought to keep playing that. Play that tune. I know that one.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like very much fun to me, but.
Terry, where are you?
Yeah, we had a convo with Terry about this today, boy. Yeah, Terry, my friend Terry could be a hard ass about holding on to her perceived reality in her head without wanting to test a new one. Wow, wows, oh, wows. guess she's still smarting from that earlier
Yeah,
call.
I know, not so much.
Not so you sure, T. You tell
Yeah.
me anyway, really? Would you? Would you? So-
Sometimes I say that I'm pissed or I'm mad. Yep.
Something.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what was?
Yeah. Sometimes you got to pull it out of me. That's true. But but
Well, there you go.
yeah, a lot of it. I think it's just a lot of much ado about nothing on my part. When I look at it.
Yeah.
If you only didn't edit it,
Yeah.
I like what you say, but I never know what it means because it's edited all the time. If you didn't edit it, I'd just be happy.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like Pat. Yeah, I think I just got to just throw myself off that cliff and just say.
Wow. Okay, that's
Yeah.
dramatic.
Well,
To humanity.
It
This sounds like the Hindenburg.
might be like fun, like bungee jumping.
I think the Hindenburg is about to burst into flames. But,
Yeah.
okay.
No.
Okay.
So the edit part is something like you want to, I don't know, T. I've been trying to figure this out for a long time. It's like you want to present yourself a certain way, but yet everybody can see that it's not that way. And so there's a question asked, and then the filtration system comes on, because instead of just answering, which would come out just as an answer, it comes out that there's a, well, it could, but maybe, and it gets
Yeah.
all,
Yeah, I think about it like 3, 4, or 5 times, and by the time I'm done with that, well, then who knows? It doesn't mean shit, It's so.
No, you can't, nowhere to be trusted. The same thing that Pat's talking about or seeing. How?
Well,
Well,
I'm sure that we could probably move on to tonight's discussions.
Yes, tonight's, but this is a good entree. Okay?
Oh,
It's,
okay. An entree. Is that like something really good to eat?
mhm.
Oh, okay.
Well, welcome everybody to the summit, episode 8, I think. Differences. That when I first read it, struck me as an odd title for a chapter. But then I started to work in a float center, and it really became evident that people put things in familiar boxes over and over again. I mean, I'd go out and speak about floating, and as you might know, it's still not, I could walk into a group, and I mean, it used to be that it would be just blank stares because nobody'd heard about it. These days, 1 or 2 or 3 or a small number have heard about it, maybe even 1 or 2 have tried it, but still the hands go up, and the hands are usually like, is it like? And so they might say, is it like my bath? Is it like my bed? Is it like meditation? It's
How about
not.
the Dead Sea?
Is it like, must be like the Dead Sea? I've done that. They say, I get my fill in the blank. People do this, and I've done this too. I get my relaxation from golf. Okay, it's already been decided. There's no,
Yeah.
it's nothing. It's decision made. I know what it's like. I don't need any of that. I fulfill whatever that thing is that I don't understand this other way, right? And usually I'll just say, rock on. That's cool. Keep playing your golf because what else is there? It's either going to be an argument or great. So
I figured that if golf is relaxing for them, then they deserve to play golf.
they deserve to play golf.
Yeah.
As what's his name said? Who was the guy?
Groucho.
Right?
Groucho Marx.
Yeah, was maybe he said golf. A good walk spoiled.
Oh no, that had to be Calvin Coolidge.
Yeah. But we don't do very much with new information, generally. Most people don't. And you know, I figure that there's a evolutionary reason, if you care. And you know, I like my science stuff, but I'll be quick. I think it's about energy. I think that if you know, we're evolved so that we don't freak out, and our hypothalamus or amygdala doesn't release adrenaline at every turn. Because if we walked out all day long and you know, things didn't look familiar, well, we'd be, you know, probably on hyperdrive most of the time. That may be, as best as I can tell. We're kind of built to put things in boxes and not to freak out at anything that comes our way. So we're always filtering, and things seem familiar. But man, we miss a lot. We miss a lot because if you're putting everything in a box, oh yeah, I know what that floating thing is. It must be like fill in the blank. It's not like any of those things, as John mentioned yesterday. It's nothing like that. When was the last time before floating you were in an environment with nearly no external stimulation? That would probably be never.
Well, I don't know. There was this girl I knew once upon a time. She was a lot like that.
Yeah, how so?
Well, there was no external stimulation from her either. But I don't. Maybe I just didn't understand, because I think she was telling me that was my problem, not hers.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
might have been right. I don't know.
Yep.
And at those times, you don't, you kind of lose track of what's actually real. I think maybe, perhaps.
Yeah, and well, we do digress a bit, but you know, I understand
A lot.
that it can't be you; it must be her. I've been there, but kidding aside, that
You knew her too.
yeah, I've
You
known
be
her
my
longer than
Tennessee
you have.
chicken, I'll be your Tennessee
Yeah.
lamb.
But there's no learning, right? There's nothing if we're dismissing things that show up, and shit showing up all day long. It's just a matter of what are you going to
Wow.
see.
You're in a bad profession, dude.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plumber.
That Edith, tell Edith.
Sounds just like a plumber to me. I don't know.
Good to see you tonight, Edith Bunker from.
Be in the flotation business, but that's not what we're looking for.
Yeah. But what do you guys think? You reckon that you are missing things by stuffing everything in a box? Anybody see that they do that? How about you, Greg? You packing things in boxes?
By the way, for those of you who can hear,
Of course I am, Ken.
Yeah.
That's Keesma music in the background. We have a world-class clarinetist playing out on the patio.
Ooh. Ooh. Maybe you turn your camera on at some point. We could take a peek.
He's only going to play a little bit, I think, but we'll see.
Okay.
If we can we get? Oh, I know George or George could do it, or Jesse could do it, and then you could let them, whoever's in charge, let them show.
Yeah, we mind seeing that. How's it going, Greg?
What?
Ah, it's going well.
Oh well, you still
It's just for here.
still down at the shore?
Still down at Oasis, yeah. It's beautiful down there. Gray skies.
Good.
but that's
Makes sense.
no
It's
problem.
cool. This thing about I don't know, what do you call it? Same old, same patterns, running the same scripts, same arguments, same fights, same frustrations.
What do you mean about packing things into boxes, Ken?
Well,
Elaborate, please.
yeah, it's let's take how I related to Maria, okay? Everything, or nearly everything, would be packed in a box of something like "you're challenging me," or "fight," or "how dare you." One of those flavors of, like, I would look at her as an oppressor, right? Now that's just my relationships, the way I came out of childhood, especially with my mom and those female relationships. That was the box. That was it. It didn't matter. I didn't listen for what was said. It was just whatever it was. I put it in the box of, you want to fight, eh? That's what I mean about putting things in boxes. Can you relate?
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Oh, you can. Do tell.
No, I tend to take things and just pack them away, and then they could build up. But I'm a very even-keeled soul, so I wouldn't say it hinders anything, but definitely to the relationships around me.
Worthington comes on because his bullshit meter goes off. Let's unpack that, shall we?
Unpack the box. Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Even keeled guy.
And Kaplan was a field guy.
Oh yeah. Hey, look. Which kid were you again? You were the middle kid, did you say?
Yeah, I'm the middle guy. Middle guy.
You're the middle guy. Okay. So you were really happy that everybody else got everything except you, right?
I followed my older brother.
Yeah. I understand. I heard that part. You told me that. But this even keeled thing doesn't really track. You're pretty aggressive. I mean, what you're doing as a in that startup is just about as aggressive as it gets, dude. Now, maybe you channel it really well, but even keel doesn't fit in that particular aggressivity.
Well, John, maybe my shit is still in the box.
Okay, I'm not, Greg. I'm not arguing. No, don't misunderstand, dude. I'm not arguing with you about it.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Okay, no. Okay, what I'm doing is this. I'm saying, okay, look. Whenever I hear somebody say something like that, that's a blanket statement, I have to stop and ask them if they know for sure what they're talking about. Because I don't know what they're talking about. You see, that's the thing. I don't know of any blanket statements. In other words, I don't know. For me, myself, or anybody I've really talked to in depth, I've never met anybody who had blanket statements that actually fit everything that they did, like even killed guy.
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard people who were, I mean, just all kinds of stuff, that they didn't do this, they didn't do that, but yet when it come down to it, they wrestled with that thing all of the time. And I hear this angst in your voice that makes me wonder about how much of that you wrestle with, really. And it's not that I want to find out at the moment, but it's like I hear that and I say, you know what? This guy, whenever he's able to see this difference in his life, he's gonna know a whole lot more what he's gonna do. The other side of that is that I think that you're thinking that you understand people and what they're saying, and my bet is that you don't. And my bet is that the reason that you don't is because you're too busy thinking that what they're saying is the same as you, not different than.
Yeah,
There's,
that's true.
yeah, that makes sense there, John.
Okay.
It really, I'm married. I got a wife, and she's constantly telling me like, "You're not listening to me." I'm like, "Oh no, I'm listening."
Yeah,
But
yeah, okay.
what she really means to say is, "You're not understanding me." Is what
No,
she means.
she's not. No, she's not. She's saying, okay, look, Ken reacted to Maria's threat as fight. You're reacting to your wife's threat as freeze.
Freeze.
Yeah. Like the bunny and that hears the hawk overhead, he just doesn't move anymore.
Just kind of stop and stay still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our reactions to perceived threats fall into that fight or freeze
Or flee.
or flee,
Fight.
capture, get the hell out of
Yeah.
there. Those are, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not here.
I'll be back.
I guess
You know,
I'm.
Yeah, go ahead.
some guys say, okay, look, I'll be back. I'm going to the bar. I gotta go see my buddy. I'm gonna go bowling. I'm gonna go play softball. Whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was not me.
Other guys say, hey, just leave me alone. I'm watching this show here. I'm reading. Be quiet. Other guys just say, hey, shut the fuck up, bitch. But it's like it's still the same threat. See.
Yeah. Yeah, I was the shut the hell up bitch button, passive aggressive way.
Oh, frick. Yeah.
Sounds good. Oh, and by the way, speaking of even keel, I used to pride myself on what I thought was even keel. I remember one day when I was a teenager, my grandfather, he kind of looked at me. It's like, I got a question for you, he said, and called him Pop. And I said, what's up, Pop? And he said, what happened to Kenny? I didn't even know what he was talking about. I'm like, is there more to that, Pop, than just what happened to Kenny? He's like, no. What happened to that fly off the handle, volatile, reactive kid? Oh, that's what you're asking, Pop. And I like propped up my shoulders, so proud. I said, he's gone. I'm even keel. I not exactly what I said, but pretty much what I said. I had tucked that one away, or so I thought. No, it wasn't tucked away because it wasn't dealt with. It was just there. To deal with it, I had to actually do something different, like we're talking to Pat about. And I mean, I told you guys one of these stories of sitting in that. I'm right next to my kitchens over there, and I remember one day, I'm repeating a story where Maria said, "You're selfish." Bing, 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 bing. Threat, 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 threat. Woo, 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 woo. The first thing that went through my mind is, bitch, you think I'm selfish. I mean, I did that. This is how I did this with my partners too. I did this with everybody. But I had been doing this work, and I was like, maybe I should practice what I preach. That's not a bad thing to do. I hear that that's the way to learn. And so, the way it went down was like, all right, how do you see it? Literally after a 5-minute conversation, I was like, yep, that's right. I see what you're saying, because I had just started the float business not too long ago. I was a 9 to 6 or 9 to 7, Monday through Friday. You add another business to that, and all of a sudden the weekends, well, I was not here weekends, and we had 4 kids at the time, and they were here, and they needed the things that kids needed to go to this place and that place. And so her point to me, what she was really saying was, what's going on? Can you spend some more time with the kids? By hearing that, I could find a resolution, and it was one that was way different than, bitch, you want to fight? Way different. So I know that when I meet people who say they're even keeled, to ask about that. Because if they're fiery and reactive and there's some perceived threat, then how is it being dealt with? Really? As John said, there are three kinds of reactions: fight, flight, and freeze. Once our adrenaline kicks in, it could be, it could be dealt with a lot of ways. Fight, get the hell out of here, go bowling, go to the bar drinking, go sit in a room. But that don't mean even keel so much. What do you think, Greg? Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I
Yeah,
definitely
but
often.
Greg, more importantly for you, I think, mark this in yourself. Okay, no more than just say, okay, this is where it is for me. Here's some things that I where I can see this in myself. Then start paying attention to the people when they're talking to you at your job, at work. Start listening to them from that same place. Start saying, okay, what's going on there? And don't decide. Just listen. Just let them talk. Let them explain this stuff and so forth. What you'll find though after a while is that you'll start hearing, because you'll say, okay, why is that there? And what you'll start hearing is whether or not you want them on your team at all. I'm not telling you that they're bad people. I'm just telling you that's what you'll find out, because some of them have problems. Some of them may have problems that you don't really want to solve because you didn't take those people on to raise. Other people might be worth the effort and the energy that you're going to have to expend to bring them along to where you want them to be, because of their, I don't know, their innate skills, or because you like their hairstyle. Whatever the hell the reason is, who cares? But you're in any event, knowing how they're looking at things like those kinds of statements helps you really a lot in making financial decisions, economic decisions, where you're going to spend money on a company, or you're going to earn money in a company or through a company. These kinds of things, I think, make a big difference. That's my opinion, but you don't need to listen to me.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, I think so too, that there's a lot that you can tell just by observing. I think.
Here, let me show you how it works, okay? Because it doesn't look like it's going to work very well. But here, let me explain it to you so you can see it. Once you understand the concept, you'll say, "Oh, well, fucking A." What? You'll steal it from me. I know you will. But okay, that can't be helped. Here comes. All right, look. There are things that people have to do. There are things that they have to bring to fruition. Okay. In any business. And so how do they do that? Do they do it in their own way, with their own way of thinking about it, or do they do what they're told? If they do what they're told, I don't think you're going to get the benefit of what they know, because they're not using knowledge, they're using being told. If they come up with a different way of doing the same thing, they're using knowledge and applying it, and that makes a valuable employee, or a valuable, or a person who is going to realize a profit for a business. Let me put it that way. If they only do what they're told, there's no difference in how they think and how you think. You haven't got anything there. Ken, I'm reminded of what's her name, the famous girl in your office that Yeah, that one. The one that
Mrs.
you
M.
liked. Yeah, the one that you liked. She was a good attorney, but she didn't
Yeah,
like it.
I like her
But she
still. Yeah.
but she wouldn't accept that she wouldn't accept that she was really good. She
No.
couldn't deal with that stress.
No. Yeah. She could not accept that she had value, that she was okay. That she couldn't. She'd argue it, as strange as that sounds.
Well, the thing that made me kind of pissed off was that your partners agreed with her when she argued about it instead of stopping and saying, "No, I don't agree with that shit." Of course you are. But
Yeah.
if you want to run away, then run away. That part I could agree with.
Yeah.
But that for them to say that she didn't have value, or to agree with her that she
Yeah.
didn't have value, that was a sexist thing or a rude thing or a bad thing. That I don't care.
Yeah.
That was ugly.
That boys' club behavior still persists and still has a very real impact on having women feel safe in my office. It's true. It played out like this. Not that the actual circumstances matter much, because you were dead on with what we were really saying, but it would be like there would be work given to her and she would not turn it in on time or deal with it. There was like a rebellion behind it. You can see it. But instead
Right.
of dealing with the rebellion, because, wow, we work with her. She's our colleague. She's our friend. She's our partner. Instead
Okay.
of dealing,
All
go
right.
ahead.
Stop right there. Okay. And so when you guys agreed with the work being late and not being dealt with, you didn't find out what she could do.
Yep, exactly.
You didn't find out her specific function, and so you were paying for nothing.
Yep. Yep, we were paying for nothing. I can see how that's true. We sold her up the river short by agreeing that she wasn't the best she could be, and all of that for
So
well,
you guys,
something.
so what was the return in that, Ken?
The return was that she was the third to go, and there's been three more, I think.
No,
since
no,
then.
no, 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 no,
What's the
no,
actual
no, no.
return?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, I mean, I can't think of
Do,
anything
do
other than, the
you guys
same.
you guys are really badass lawyers because the women
Eh,
can't keep up with you, huh?
yeah,
Wow,
we're
you sexy dudes.
big men.
Yeah. Ooh,
Control those women.
your
No,
urinals have bullseyes, right?
yep, yeah. This is a this is a problem. This is a yeah. This is a you left yeah, but this is a this is a problem.
You can't hit it anymore. What?
Damn you! Oh yeah, there's 51% of the population that we can't.
Yeah, see, there's nothing
Yeah,
different.
I don't know that.
Nothing at all.
Yeah, I don't know that this is really the place to go, but I know working in the float center, when there's a balance between male and female energy, it works better. But that balance, it seems to me, has to do with having a safe place.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. Look, sort of it is. Okay. And yes, that's true. Okay. But what it's really about is it's really about a magnet being balanced. Okay. There's not there's a defining line between North and the South Pole on a magnet, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's always going to be separated.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that separation is something that the boys club doesn't allow.
Yeah. Does not.
And
Doesn't.
so Yeah, and so even in them, even within the own club, there's no difference.
Yeah.
Now that has value at in terms of of a homogeneous service.
Yeah.
Okay, but it doesn't have quality.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. I would point out for those listed that what we're not talking about is a good or bad thing here. We're not talking
No,
about rights or
well,
wrong.
I'm not.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, it's just okay. This is how lots of boys club law firms and other businesses operate. They can and do make money.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they're not.
And
Yeah,
yep. And there are girls that have to that learn how to play that game and they do well in that game because they've learned how to play it.
yeah,
It doesn't mean though that it's best for business. Okay, I often wonder how much money those firms would make if they had balanced energy as opposed to lopsided energy.
yeah,
They could do the same thing, I'm sure, but with a balanced energy, uh, it would be much more sustainable and probably will have a whole lot higher quality and therefore have a greater value.
yeah,
That would be how I would look at it.
yeah. I understand that. I look around here, sitting and looking at my house, and as a household example of just another way that you could look at, well, I don't want to say it's business and make it impersonal like that, but I do mean it in the same way that balancing energy in my relationship with Maria and my household um, has a certain substance to it that gets reflected in everything that everything that the structure, from the structure of the house to to money that comes in, to how the kids behave, to our health. Yeah, it affects everything.
Yeah, yeah, it does. So, but you've got to start by seeing what it is that you do that's different than what anybody else does. And when you do that well and you do that efficiently, then you build quality.
Yeah. So
So
how does somebody go down that road of finding what they do and what they do well?
well,
We've
you
been
have
having this conversation with Terry about this very topic.
yeah. Okay. Well, according to what I understand, okay, and now please take that for exactly that. It's how I think about it, and that doesn't mean anybody else should even attempt to think about it that way. It's like one of those things you see on a game show or on one of those shows where don't try this at home kind of thing. But how I think about this particular thing is I think about it in terms of a relationship. Okay, and so I look at that at it and I say, okay, I want to see how it is I can be in a relationship in an unknown type of way, because I want to see how I deal with that relationship differently in an unknown type of way than when I deal with it in a known type of way.
Okay. How do you
Well,
engage in an unknown
well,
kind of way?
for instance, I might do something that's I'm not supposed to do normally, and say, "Hey, Greg, how you doing? Do you I'm bothered by that even keeled thing.
Yeah.
I just wish that you'd revise that maybe in your mind. Okay. Not to tell Greg how to live life, but to say, hey, Greg, you seem like a hell of a nice guy. Revise that.
Yeah.
It'll work for you better.
Yep.
Just look at it different. Just look at the whole thing. You'll make 50,000 changes in the next 27 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Or to stop and say, hey, Mike, I know you can do this thing. I know that you've been thinking about this for a long time, guys. Go for it. Right. Or like you were saying to Pat, Pat,
Yeah.
I know that we can answer these questions for you, so you can take this and put it to work.
Yeah. Or like we talked to Pam a while back about, you know, kick ass and she ought to be, you know, holding out for Cass because, you know, well, why would she accept something less than that? You know?
Well, really, because
Yeah.
Pam's really a brilliant person.
Yeah.
But who does she know that's going to actually tell her that?
Yeah.
Tell
Her
me
kids?
what? Tell me what?
Now we fished you out. Here you are. You missed it. Sorry.
You weren't here. Na, 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 na.
no. I was here, but my screen froze while you said what you just.
Oh well,
poor
sorry
bit.
to pay you a compliment there.
Yeah.
Oh,
You did.
bummer.
Yeah.
I missed it. And you can't even repeat it.
Oh, I can. I just won't because I know you missed it. Yeah.
Well, I heard badass, but then I missed it.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about how your kids referred to you. And how their friends refer to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Look, you have to be badass. You have to be those things to be in the business that you're in. You have to be brilliant. And so, you know, you're not going to accept a relationship with anybody that doesn't meet you where you are.
Yeah, and so that's, you know, and I'm struggling with that. Really, I am.
What's the struggle, darling? You know, you if somebody doesn't meet you where you are, you're going to have them for breakfast.
Yes, sadly, yes.
Well, you know, then either come prepared or don't come at all. You know, you don't give a damn. You're not thinking about their happiness.
Oh, well, not anymore. Yes.
Or not any less, we should say, perhaps.
You're the badass. You should have them meet you where you are.
She
Come over,
does.
honey.
You can. I will guarantee you that Pam does that. Whether she will admit to it or not is another story. But,
I'm just, you know, just by myself then, you know, because nobody's
okay, stop for a second, kid.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Now, deal with it for a second. You're going to have to train them.
So I sort of wanted to bring that up then. Like, my thought is, you know, I don't want to put anything out there to say, hey, you have to change. I'm not here to change anybody.
You know
but
how I deal with that? No, here's how I deal with this, okay? Look, I like you a lot. I got something I got to get done. If you're in my way, I can't have you around. If you're gonna argue with how I do things, I can't have you around. If you can agree with it, if you can get along with it, great, you're welcome. Otherwise, leave me the fuck alone and get the fuck out of my house. Don't even think about being around here. I don't like you. You're ugly.
I guess so.
Well, there's no reason for me to kiss somebody's ass. That not, you know what? Why? They're not going to hang around or anything anyway.
Nope, you're absolutely right. So that's sort of where I want to do that. Yeah, I just
so lay it out how it is, babe, and tell them where you are and say, look, here's where you can meet me. And those that are different will say, okay, excuse me, what did you just say? I want to hear that again.
Yeah.
Those that are the same, you know, you don't want to deal with those guys. You remember that thing from Harmony class, kiddo? Or maybe it's not in Harmony class, but it's where Master says, Terry, can you put that up there? The Master says that he who, what is it, that gentlemen unite, although they're all different common people are
small men.
Small men are all the same,
and each for themselves.
Each for themselves, yeah, right?
It's a Confucius quote.
Oh, I want to see that. Does Terry have that one?
Yeah, I think Terry can find that in the snap.
Oh, listen, Terry can find and put up
Yeah,
anything that
just
there
give me a
is.
couple
Yeah.
minutes. I'll have up a sec pen.
See, I told you.
See, there you go.
Yeah, I want to see that. I remember something like that, right?
Comment.
You know, the thing is this, is that, you know, what you're looking for is it's the same people that you do business for, right? You do business with, right? You don't do business with people who can't afford you, do you, kid?
No, I'm happy to walk away.
Yeah, you can't afford me? Oh, that's too bad. See ya.
Yes, yeah, too bad. Okay,
Listen,
move
you know
on
what?
to somebody else.
I'll give you my competitor's number. He can stand a losing proposition. Okay, but that's precisely the same thing. It really, right? You're saying, look, I want to unite with people who are gentlemen. I want people who can actually think about what I'm doing here, what they're doing there, and how it is that we're helping each other. Otherwise, what for?
Yeah, like I'd rather be by myself than that, for sure.
Well, no, you wouldn't. You'd rather be with somebody else, but you're not going to put up with an idiot. Even if you have to
Yeah.
train him, you want somebody that'll pay attention. And really, you don't want to be by yourself. I mean,
I
you
don't want to be by myself, but I'm
Then-
just not going to
okay,
settle, that's for sure.
Okay, so don't settle. You set up what you want. You say, look, this is what I want. This is how I want it. And this is how it's going to have to be. Because you know what those rules are already, don't you?
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
Right.
think about what I'm going to tell you in differences. If somebody is different than what those rules are in your mind, that's not the person you're looking for.
No, that's totally right. Yep.
Okay, if they're trying to convince you that you have to be different, no,
Yeah.
you're Pam. You're that's set in the universe already.
Right.
So you know, I'm quite happy to attest to that. That's a real thing, my friend Pam, and anybody that I know that's going to hang out with her better be able to attest to the same damn thing. So there.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, me too. I am. I'm good with that. Let's do it. Let's do it like that, right?
Okay, that's right. I mean,
Cool.
it's about being real. Okay, let's just be real. This is who I am. This is what I need. This is where I'm at.
There you go.
You know, how do you sit with that? So.
Yep. If you're happy with it, great. If you're not happy with it, okay, that's good. Thank you. Not,
Yep.
You're a really nice person. I'm sure you're going to, you'll find happiness. I'm just not it.
Right.
That too bad. That's you're close, but no
Yes.
cigar.
No cigar. Exactly right.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm perfectly happy to move on.
Yeah. Now, if you had smoked a pipe.
It only smoked a pipe.
Yeah, well, that fucking cigar did me in, baby. I couldn't.
Whose pipe?
Yeah.
Who is that?
Smoked a pipe, as in
smoked a pipe. Oh,
Yeah.
I
like as in Sherlock Holmes. It makes you
gotcha.
wiser and smarter than you actually are.
I thought you said
there it is.
To pipe. Okay.
No. Okay. Gentlemen unite but are not the same. Small men are all the same, but each for himself.
Yes, that's a really good saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a like a who do you want to be with or work with or have a relationship with kind of thing.
Yep, exactly. Gentlemen unite, but are not the same. Small men are all the same, but each for himself. Yep, been there, done that. Bye-bye.
Yep, there you go, kid. I mean, that just keep that in there, in your head, kid.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's a damn good measure right there. Can you unite, or are you just too little? You're all for yourself. No, you're just thinking about you. No thanks.
Yeah, that's so right. So true. That
Sure.
is the That's a really great line. Yep, gonna keep that one.
Cool.
Thank you.
You stick with me, kid. You'll learn all this shit.
Yes, right.
The only thing I don't know how to do is drive an 18-wheeler.
Been there, done that.
Wow. Cool. So what? How does this have to do with the chapter differences? What are we talking
If
about?
if she can say these, if you're different than these things, your specific function is not with me.
Yeah.
Okay. And for somebody else, for them to say, okay, I've tried to do I tried to do this other thing. I tried to do this different thing in my life. And I found out that when I did this different thing in my life, I hung out with Pam. I realized that what I was looking for was not what Pam represented or what Pam did. You know, Pam was a really good lesson for me. I'm glad I knew her. And you know what? I think we helped each other.
Yeah.
Okay. But now we both have to do what we have to do. And you know what? I know this guy that she knows now because of that. And, you know, they really do fit together. You know, it's okay to fuck up, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
That's how you see the difference between what you fucked up and what you should have done, or
Yeah.
what you did when you didn't fuck up. You say, "Oh man, I figured out how to do that. I know how to do this thing nobody else knows how to do." You know
Yeah.
that's the thing, right?
There's learning in or at least the potential for learning.
Well, if you do different things than what you normally do, then in theory, what's happening is that you're going through a set of unknown experiences, which tells you how you actually process information.
This is the
shows
thing.
It shows you your strengths.
Yeah, and it's those strengths that we call specific function.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't gotten there yet, but to repeat, we're talking about tools, and each tool connects with a function, and well, difference being a tool. If you do these things, if you learn these things, and you pivot and you maneuver and you make, you figure out what works better, you end up starting to see what you do, what works for you, how you express, how you do you best. You free up the energy governed by specific function, to put it in terms that the book uses.
Yeah. So what we're trying to do here, for those of you who don't really understand how this works, sort of, is we're trying to put these stepping stones in place for each one of you, so that you can walk across the river right here. It's a bridge for you. And we try to help each one of you with the bridges that you need. That's the reason why we have that Slack channel and so forth, so we can actually address those things directly.
Yeah. Each of these tools being like a way to get across the bridge.
Yeah, it's another stepping stone that you're going to want to have in place. You know, maybe somebody else can jump across that, but maybe you can't. Maybe you need a stepping stone right there. Okay, let's put a stepping stone there so you can see where it is. It's not that hard. It's easy to do.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, I got to deal with my own programming. Maybe, yeah, that'd be a good thing to do. That's a good tool.
Yeah.
And finding out how other people think about things. I mean, so that I can relate to them. It's a good tool too.
Maybe just looking at things different just for the hell of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, maybe just putting on another whole world together than what I grew up with, just because I wanna. Hey, screw it. I just want to do this. So there.
Yeah. Try it if you like it. Yeah. Try it. Do something different. Do something unusual.
Yeah.
Just to stretch. You stretch yourself.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how you are, Pam, but I would never look at pictures of a landscape that I did when I'm designing a landscape that I haven't done. Because I always wanted to see what was in my mind, not what was in the picture.
Right. Yes, for sure.
So that's applying yourself, right? Isn't that what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, and
Also,
enough about
yeah.
old times and other lies.
There's like two sides or other sides. There's the seeing a difference, observing, and then there's the, well, maybe they're really the same, making a difference. Well, like you reach out to Greg and Pam and just because, that fish something out that, well, maybe I should say it, start it this way. It's true. We can't see what we're looking with. Strange. Say it again. We've said this before. You can't see the color of your own eyes. You can't. Why? Because you're looking with them. Somebody you can see for somebody else. I had this conversation with Terry today, but with my friend Terry, I've pointed this out lots of times. I as her friend to point out what I see and what I observe. But then it's be for her then to try something else on. I've been coaxing and urging her that might be a good thing for her.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
So.
Terry knows, so Terry knows.
Yep.
It's good.
She does.
She'll do it. She'll
Yep.
take care of herself.
Yep.
She's a smart lady.
Yep, that's for sure.
Okay.
What else? You guys got? Anybody have any questions or commentary at this point?
I don't. What are you gonna talk? What are you gonna do tomorrow night? Ken?
Well, we'll stay with differences. I do want to talk a little bit about brainwaves tomorrow as as a way to think differently about how we normally think of our thinking. Maybe I could say that better. That.
You mean you'd like to point out that thoughts at different brainwave frequencies have different values?
Yes, have different values or different functions, even different, levels of crazy.
How
Right?
can you tell which one's is which, though?
Well, and I know when I come in at the.
I just heard an old lady chuckling.
Me, yeah.
Edith, hello.
How you doing things, you can tell what brainwave you're on. Whether
Same
you're-
for.
Well,
I don't know. How could you do that?
some you're thinking from what you believed when you were a little kid. That's the lower ones. And as you go up through them, like if you're all emotional and you're in fight, flight, freeze, you're probably in theta.
Well, actually, that's an alpha thing because it's a program. It's part of the survival priority list.
Yeah.
Program.
Yep. Right.
So even though it has metaprogrammatic overtones, but it's not a metaprogram actually. But that's what Lily said. I think he's right, but I had to think about it like he said before I could understand what he was saying.
Yeah, it's not like they're places. It's what you're doing is going to tell you which one of these you're in.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to be gone here, guys. So we'll
All right,
see you guys later.
Yep. Have fun.
Okay, I will. Ralph and Pam and Mike and Greg and Pat and so on. See you later. Bye.
Later, John. Thanks.
Bye, John. Thank you.
Anybody else got anything on their mind before we break for the night? Say some highs. Hey, Mike, good to see Mike out there. I see a couple of phone call people. I know Pat, I think, is on, or maybe Pat was on a phone call. Maybe you're on twice, Pat. I don't know. I see. Say hi to Maria, who's out there, and George and Jesse, and we spoke to Pam. We'll come back. Why don't we just come back tomorrow? We'll talk about. If you guys don't have any questions or comments, we'll same bat time, same bat channel. We'll continue with this thing, differences.
Sounds
We'll
good.
see you on Slack. Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, good to see some of you have found Slack. It's a good way to keep in touch.
Yeah. I put your quote there, Pam.
Okay, that's so cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All righty then. Have a good one.
Thank-
Mañana.
Thank you all.
Yeah,
Good night.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. Thank you all. Really,
Thanks, everyone.
really appreciate you being here.
All right. Good night, guys.
Yeah, thanks.